Hunters, a class who have suffered with being little more than the designated trank shotter, and not much else throughout Classic. Much to everyone's delight, in TBC they become certified pumping machines, and having mained a Hunter in Classic, I for one cannot wait to see what they can do now. Now in this video we're going to look at the Hunter pre-raid best in slot, much of which you can accumulate whilst levelling up. Some guides will show you ludicrously expensive BOE epics or gear from heroic dungeons, which are generally harder than Karazhan and contain largely inferior gear, so pretty pointless to target until you've already started raiding. I've decided to go with a realistic approach, gear which is easy to obtain through quests and normal dungeons that will enable you to pump the numbers effectively in the opening raids without all the hassle of farming heroics. Now, unlike melee who have to worry about hit rating and expertise, Hunters only have to worry about hit rating, and similar to Classic they're aiming for 9%, which is 142 hit rating. This set that I'm about to talk you through has 9% hit, whilst maximising agility and crit chance as much as possible. You want to minimise hit rating over 9% as it is a wasted stat and provides no additional benefit. There are some exceptions to the hit chance of 9%, which are if you have a Boomkin in your group, they provide a 3% hit buff called Improved Fairy Fire, and if you're a Draenei, then you have a 1% hit ratio, therefore needing 1% less on your gear. Now jumping straight into things, and this gear set largely hinges on the Beast Lord set, and this is the dungeon set for Hunters in the start of Burning Crusade, and the 4 set is where this really shines. Each time you use your kill command ability, your attacks ignore 600 of your victim's armor for 15 seconds. Now kill command being the new ability that is added into Hunters in the Burning Crusade, and you're going to be able to keep an incredibly high uptime on this, and it works on all enemies, but on bosses it's extremely powerful. Now most bosses in the Burning Crusade have between 6,000 and 7,000 armor, so you're effectively ignoring 10% of their armor whilst this is up, which translates in real terms to about a 2 to 3% DPS increase for the Hunter. So extremely powerful, and getting such a good set early on is quite incredible, and actually it's worth keeping this 4 set sometime into Karazhan depending on what bits of gear you get from there. So really good place to start. Now we've gone for the Beast Lord's Helm to start off with, and this is part of the 4 set. We've got the Helm, Leggings and Mantle as well, but really good itemization on this one. And we've got 25 agility, 21 stamina, 22 intellect, and we've got 2 gem slots including a meta gem. Now we've also got 50 attack power on equip, which is absolutely incredible. And in terms of the enchant, we've gone for the Glyph of Ferocity. This adds 34% attack power and 16 hit, and this is from the Cenarian Expedition Revered. The actual item itself is from the Mechanar. It drops from Nethermancer, Serpethria, and one other boss, so plenty of opportunities to get that one. Obviously you're going to need your epic flying to get it, so something you're going to want to prioritize. In terms of the gems, we've got one red slot and we've got a meta gem slot, and I've gone for the Delicate Living Ruby for the agility. We don't need any more hit, and I'll explain why in a little bit further, but yeah, we've gone straight agility on this one. And in terms of the meta gem, we've gone for the Swift Skyfire Diamond, which gives 24 attack power and a minor run speed increase, which is absolutely lovely. Moving on to the neck, and we've gone for Natasha's Choker. Let me get that out. And Natasha's Choker is from a quest called the Houndmaster in the Blade's Edge Mountains. It gives us 15 crit strike rating, 10 hit, and 50 attack power, which is massive. Alternatives are the Earthen Mark of Raising, which gives us 23 agility, 13 hit, and 20 attack power, and that's from Nagrand. I personally believe with this set, the Natasha's Choker just fits in better, and I've done this deliberately to get the maximum amount of ranged power, whilst also having the correct amount of hit, and obviously balancing out the ranged crit chance, because that's also important. Now, Beast Lord's Mantle, I mentioned this a minute ago, we have got this. This drops from the Steam Vaults. It's from Warlord Calithresh, so again, a normal dungeon that you can farm. In terms of the enchant, we've gone to the Greater Inscription of the Vengeance, which is from the Aldor, and that adds 30 attack power and 10 critical strike rating. For the yellow slot, we've gone for the Glinting Noble Topaz, which is 4 hit rating and 4 agility. And for the red, we've gone for exactly the same again. Now moving on down, we've got the Cloak of the Inciter. This is a drop from the Shadow Labyrinth. It drops from Blackheart, the Inciter, and it's a really nice bit of gear. Again, we've got 15 stam, which is good for survivability, 18 crit strike rating, 16 hit, and 30 attack power. The other options are the Vengeance Wrap from Tailoring, but this isn't obviously an epic, and it's BOE, so it's going to cost quite a lot at the start. And Cloak of the Craft is a BOE world drop, so I don't think it's worth relating to that. You know, it may drop, it may not, but certainly not worth putting in this list to start with. I want to stick with things that we can farm. So yeah, again, another normal piece of gear. Extremely powerful, this one. The itemization is cracking. And sort of other options, I suppose, are the Delicate Green Poncho. This drops from a quest called Bring Me the Egg in Nagrand, and that has decent hit, decent attack power, agility, and stamina. I like Cloak of the Inciter. I think it fits in better with what we're going with, and we've gone for the greater agility, 12 agility enchant on that one as well. Vest of Vengeance is our chest piece, and it has three gem slots, which is really nice. Now, as you can see, the other option is the Primal Strike Vest. This is an extremely good bit of gear, but requires you to be an elemental leather worker. Now, I know a lot of people are going to have to go leather working because of drums, but if that's not something you want to do, then obviously this is going to be off the table. So Vest of Vengeance is a good alternative. It drops from K Dan the Breaker in the Blood Furnace. So again, really easy to farm, and this one has really good stats on it. It's got the 27 agility, 18 stamina, 11 hit, and 42 attack power. Now, I've also gone for the exceptional stats on the chest. This gives us 6 to all stats. For the red slot, I'm going for the 8 agility Living Ruby. For the yellow, I'm going to go for our Smooth Dawnstone, 8% crit strike rating. And for the blue, I'm going to go not for one of those. I'm going to go for the Delicate Living Ruby, because that gives us 8 agility. The reason I've done that is because the socket bonus is 4 dodge rating, which is pretty useless for us. I don't think that's something we should go for. So losing out on the agility is not something we want to do. You can also put in, on the yellow slot, you can also put in another agility gem, another Delicate Living Ruby. However, I've chosen to balance it out, as crit chance is extremely important at the start as well. Now, moving on further down, we have got our Spy Mistresses wrist guards. Now, these are absolutely amazing. 18 agility, 15 stamina, a socket, and we've got 15 hit rating. And they drop from a quest in Orkindune called the Soul Devices. Relatively easy to do, and the other alternatives are either green or they are harder to get leatherworking. So we don't want to go with those at all. I've gone for the 24 attack power Assault Bracer enchant here, and I've also gone for a Delicate Living Ruby on the gem slot. And weapon. Now, this is something that I think there's a little bit of debate over. Most people are going to say the Sonic Spear from Murmur in the Shadow Labyrinth, which is really good. However, you get a lot of hit rating on it, and the attack power is only 62. On this one, you get 92 attack power, slightly less hit rating, which I prefer. You do lose the stamina, and you get slightly less agility, but the extra attack power really actually does add up. And that's from Thralmar Revered. Thralmar is one of the ones you're going to be wanting to, one of the reputations, sorry, you're going to want to be farming out as soon as possible. And it is one of the only reputations that you can get to Exalted without actually stepping foot in a heroic, because you can farm it purely out of normal dungeons. So this works better for me. Having sort of simmed it out on 70 upgrades, I'm getting a better ranged attack power and overall crit chance using the Blackened Spear. So that's my personal choice. Of course, Sonic Spear looks pretty awesome, so if you want to go for it, then why not? But if you're going purely to min-max, then Blackened Spear works better for me. And I've also gone for the Major Agility, 35% agility enchant on that one, which is the best one we can get. And now, moving on to the other side, we continue with the Beast Lord set, and this is the Beast Lord's Handguards. And the itemization on these again is great. We've got 25 agility, 12 stamina, 17 intellect, and I've gone for the superior agility enchant on these, which gives us the plus 15. And now the socket bonus on this is great. It's the plus 3 hit rating. This is what we need just to take us over that 9% hit cap, so really, really important. And I've gone for plus 8 agility in the red socket, and plus 4 agi and plus 6 stamina in the blue socket, and obviously has 34 attack power on equip, which is fantastic as well. On the belt, we've gone for the Fel Stalker. This is really good. We've got other options as well. I mean, we've got Socrathar's Girdle, which is nice. It has a lot of attack power, but it's got loads of hit rating. So the reason I haven't gone for this is because, firstly, with the one we've gone, it's got slightly less agility, but it's got 2 sockets, so we can stack up on the agility that side, and it's also got more attack power. And with the hit rating, obviously us now being at that 9% hit cap, we just do not need the extra hit. Otherwise, it's just fully wasted stats. So the Fel Stalker belt is plus 18 agility, 17 intellect, and we've gone for the plus 4 hit rating gem, plus 4 agility on that as well, and the 4 agility 6 stamina gem. So it gives us a little bit of stamina on the socket bonus, which is, it's never going to be a bad thing. But as I said, plus 50 attack power on that belt is quite a lot, and that really does add up. Moving on to the legs, Beast Lord's Leggings again. This is the last bit we've got from the Beast Lord set, and this is again another really strong item. As I said before, there are other items which, on the face of it, are stronger, but again they've got loads of hit rating, which we don't need. Or they've got no sockets, or the itemization is just not as good. So, and again, having that 4 set bonus is just so important, hence why we're sort of maybe giving up a little bit of stats, because the 4 set is so strong. But anyway, we've got plus 30 agi, 25 stamina, 19 intellect, 52 attack power, and we've got a little bit of mana being restored, which I suppose is okay. It's a bit of a wasted stat, because you're more likely just going to be using demonic runes to get your mana back, but it's okay. It's not an end of the world thing. And on the enchant there, we're going with the Nether Cobra leg armor, which gives us 50 attack power and 12 critical strike rating, which is obviously very strong. And on the shoes, so feet socket, we've gone for the Felboar hide shoes. These are a leather piece, you're going to annoy some rogues getting this, but c'est la vie. Plus 18 agi, 15 stamina, and we've gone for 9 hit rating and 68 attack power, which is massive. And we've gone for the sure footage enchant in this one, which basically gives us a little bit of a snare root and root resistance, to get that out right, and gives us a little bit of hit rating again, which is just taking us just over that cap, which is what we need. Other options on this as well, you've got the Fel leather boots, which have a couple of sockets. They have, again, way too much hit rating. They are a nice option, and they're something you can potentially play around with, getting hit off other places. But for the purpose of what we're going with, I prefer having the extra agility, because these don't have any agility on them at all. It's just 2 sockets, and even if you double stack those with agi gems, you're not going to hit the 18, and the socket bonus is only 6 attack power. So I personally like to go with the Felboar hide shoes. I think the attack power increase that you're getting, 68 rather than the 36 on the Fel leather boots, is just superior in many ways. So moving on to the rings, I've gone for Ravenclaw's band in one. It's 20 agi and 15 stamina. You get 13 hit and 30 attack power. And in the other one, it's the Slayer's Mark of the Redemption, 15 agi, 10 hit rating and 50 attack power. Pretty standard, these ones. There's not really much else you could go with. You've got Kaelan's Signet, which has a bit more hit rating. It's got the attack power as well. But this one, these are essentially the same. Kaelan's Signet and the Slayer's Mark, they have exactly the same stats, so it's not much choice between the two. You can go for either. And then the Ravenclaw's band, the reason I've gone for that is just because it's slightly better. You're obviously giving up some attack power, but you're gaining an extra 5 agility essentially, but extra stamina as well is handy, and you get that extra little bit of hit rating, which is always nice. Moving on to the trinkets, and we've got the Hourglass of the Unraveler. This is one of them. 32 critical strike rating and chance on critical hit to increase your attack power by 300 for 10 seconds, and this procs fairly often, so it's really strong, and you're going to take this through quite far, so definitely worth picking up. This drops from the Black Marasm Temporus, so not too bad to get, not one of the easiest dungeons, but shouldn't be too difficult for people going in with some gear. And the other one is the Abacus of Violent Odds. This one has 64 attack power just on equip, and increases your haste rating by 260 for 10 seconds. And as you can see down here, we currently have no haste, so you only really get haste later on. You don't get much from the, I don't think there's any from the dungeons at all. But as you go further into the game, certainly in Sunlock, there's loads of haste gear. So haste is excellent. Beast Mastery Hunter scales incredibly well with haste. So getting this early on is absolutely amazing. And again, this is a trinket which you're probably going to keep for quite a while. So definitely worth getting. And that's from the Mechanar. So shouldn't be too difficult for most people to get. As I said, all of these items drop in normal mode. So it's far easier to get them than, you know, if you were trying to find a heroic group. I think heroics are going to take a bit of a while for people to get through. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, there's not much point in going for heroics straight away if your intention is raiding. You're better off getting this sort of pre-raid gear and then jumping straight into Karazhan, because the items you're going to get in there and, you know, Magtheridons are just far better. Obviously Grill's Lair as well. And well, what would a hunter be without a weapon? So we've gone for the telescopic sharp rifle. This is obviously great if you haven't got the Nerubian Slave Maker, which I don't personally. If you've got that, then that's probably going to be your best choice until you get maybe the ornate Corium rifle. Or if you want to pick up one of these BOEs, the Gyro Balanced Corium Destroyer, that's from Engineering, and Don Santos is a world drop. So these two are really strong. But in terms of sort of starting off, I've gone for the telescopic sharp rifle. It has 66.3 damage per second. It's a gun, obviously, so it has 3 speed, 13 agi, and 28 attack power. Now, if you want to go for Thralmar Exalted, and I think we have another item, I think it's the neck piece is also from Thralmar, but revered. So Thralmar Exalted is not too difficult to get. You need to run, I believe it's Shattered Halls. That's the only one that gives you the rep past revered, but you can run it on normal mode rather than having to farm heroics, which is obviously the main purpose of this. And this is an extremely strong bow. This is going to last you for quite a while. This could, I think this lasts you past Karazhan, so if you can put the work in to get this one, it's definitely worth doing. This one has 11 hit rating, 22 attack power, 12 agi, but you've got an extra 6.5 damage per second on the weapon, which is quite a lot. It's a bow slightly slower, so you're going to hit slightly smaller numbers but more often. And yeah, that is pretty much about it. I mean, on the enchant of that, we've gone for the critical strike increase, the stabilizer Eternium scope. I don't think you need the Biznix Acura scope to give you the extra hit rating. I just don't think you need that at all. Corium scope's nice, increases damage by 12, but I think in terms of sort of low level itemization, I think the critical strike rating will scale far better, and is probably easy to get as well. So that is what I've gone for, and this gives us a 1622 attack power, which is not too shabby at all. It brings us just over the ranged hit cap by 2, so there might be a way of finding, changing a few item bits around to get that exactly, but in terms of sort of keeping it as close to hit cap as we can whilst maximizing the other bits, I don't think we can get much better. The range crit chance is 22.44%, which again is not shabby at all. You can get that higher. There are ways of doing it, but then you have to sacrifice range attack power, and you also have to have far more hit chance just because of the itemization, which just isn't worth it at all. And that is it from the gear perspective. So there you have it, an easily obtainable pre-raid BIS that is more than enough to pull some tasty numbers in the opening raids. Of course, if you have access to heroic dungeons early on and don't wish to raid, then there may be other options, but I wanted this guide to be accessible to the majority of the player base. If you found this video informative, please consider subscribing to the channel and drop me a comment below with what you're most excited for in TBC Classic. And with that, I'll see you in the next video.